Hello, hello. We are winding down, okay? So don't want to get you guys alarmed, but in chapter 11, it's all about volume. And the book breaks it up into all these different sections. So this video, I'm doing 2 sections, but it's like more of the same, okay? So today we will talk about volume of prisms and cylinders. Now here are all your formulas that you're going to need for volume. The volume formulas are on the right. And you're also going to need some area formulas. So I'll be explaining that in a minute. Okay. So understand that volume is basically the space inside of an object. Okay. Unlike area, we're talking about a flat surface. But volume is an actual 3-dimensional object. It has a length and a width and a depth. Okay. Or some people say length, width, and height. So a prism, and this is in my words, okay? Any object that's shaped like a box, if you could lay it down flat on any side without it rolling over or tipping, it's a prism. You feel me? So here is an example of a prism. See that? It's kind of shaped like a box, but it's very, very long. Here we have a slanted box, still a prism, okay? Okay, that's not another prism. Now, the formula for prism, stay with me. Your formula sheet says V equal BH, but please understand that that is capital B. I like to call it big B. Big B is not base. Big B is area of the base. You feel me? Now, H is the height. That's how tall it is. Okay? So however tall it is, that's going to be your height. But big B is not just this. That's some wrong crap. Big B is the area of all of this up in here. All of that crap. So it depends on the shape of that base as to what formula you're going to use. So if your base is shaped like a rectangle or a square, then big B, you're going to do that area formula, which is base times height. This length times this length. Sometimes your big B, the base is shaped like a triangle. Triangle formula is 1/2 base times height. So if it was shaped like a triangle down here, you would do 1/2 times that length times whatever the height of that little base is. But again, I'm going to show you an example. Okay? So little b is just a base. That means the length, how long the base is. Okay? Big B is area of the base. The whole area of the base. Okay? For a cylinder. So a cylinder is any object, basically, if it's shaped like a can, but you can still stand it up, but if you tilt it to the side, it'll roll, that's a cylinder. Like a pop can, for example. A can of green beans that you buy from the grocery store, even a can of tuna. Those are all cylinders, okay? Now the cylinder formula, this is a little easier. So you just do pi times r squared times h. So remember, h is the height, r is the radius, which is halfway through the center, okay? And then we know that pi is 3.14. So when you're finding the cylinder volume, that's a lot easier. You do 3.14 times radius to the second power times the height. Remember, the height is how tall it is when you're standing up. I added a note, height is always straight up and down. Because some of these problems in the book, your can is slanted for some dumb reason. So let's say there was a number right here. Because sometimes they be trying to get you got. But then they let you know that the height is something else. So if you were to find the volume of this cylinder, you do pi 3.14 times your radius squared. Let's say the radius was 2. So I do 2 squared times the height. The height is 5. You don't need the slanted height at all. You will ignore that. You need straight up and down. That's your real height for real. Okay? All right. I like this chapter because we're using formulas. You just have to know not to get got. Okay. This example, and by the way, if you brought your geometry book home, this is in your geometry book. I forgot to put the page number though. So my bad. Check these pages right here. Okay. It's in your geometry book. So this is a prism, but notice the prism is shaped like a triangle. So this is a triangle prism. So we're still going to do the volume formula, which is big B times the height. Okay, the 5, this is how tall it is. That's our height. Our cylinder is shaped like a triangle. If I stood it up, it would be standing on a triangle. So this is, all of this is big B. Okay? I'm gonna put big B. Let me change that color. I don't like that color. I'll change it to, what color do I want? Let's make it green. Let's make that green. Sorry, y'all. I don't know if you heard that. Okay. All right. So I know my height is 5, right? So I know that I have to multiply by 5. Big B is my area of the base. My base is a triangle. So remember the triangle formula, area of a triangle, it's up here. We're using this. 1/2 little b little h. Okay. So I'm going to do, dang, did I just pass it? Yes. 1/2 times, so 3 is my little b. This is little b. The height of the triangle is this length right here. That's my 1.5. So throw it in the calculator. You're going to do 1/2 times 3 times 1.5 times the 5. Everything in green is the area of the base. Everything in green is big B. And 5 is my height. That's how tall the whole thing is. So I'm using my handheld calculator, okay? So 1/2 times 3 times 1.5 times 5, and I have 11.25. Now, volume is cubic units. So I'm going to put centimeters cubed. However, when you take the assessment, I don't really care about the units, okay? So I'm not tripping. Now, I got a decimal and it was not a long decimal. So this whole thing is my answer. Please do not call yourself rounding talking about it's 11. That's going to be wrong. This answer is not 11. This answer is 11.25. Now, if the answer was ongoing in my calculator, I would round it to the nearest tenth and I would put 11.3. If you just put 11, that's just flat out wrong. Okay, next one. Volume. Okay, so again, this is a prism because it's shaped like a box. I could lay it down flat. Okay, if I stand it straight up, my base is a rectangle. So this length right here, that's 20. And see this over here, it says 20. That's going to be the same right here. So this is also 20. Okay, right there. It's also 20. 45, that's my height. That's how tall it is if I were to stand it straight up. So volume is big B times height. I know my height is 45 feet. So I'm going to put that in blue. My big B, I'm going to use green. Okay, all of this. That's going to be my big B. Now, how do you find the area of a rectangle? Up here, and it's also on the formula sheet. This right here is area of a rectangle or a square, base times height. Some people like to call it length times width. Okay, that's the same thing. So I'm going to do 20 times 20 because 20 is the length of my big B, and then my width is also 20. Okay, so big B is 20 times 20. Again, I'm going to throw it all in the calculator and you get what you get. Doing it now. 20 times 20 times 45 pow. 18,000. That's my height. 3 zeros. Okay? Alright. Moving on for a cylinder. So that formula is pi times radius squared times h. 7 is my height. That's how tall it is. And I see that the radius is right here, which is 2.5. So my volume, I'm going to put in pi 3.14 times radius squared. So 2.5 to the second power times my height, which is 7. And I'm going to throw it in the calculator. Now, 3.14 times 2.5 to the second power times 7. I got 137.375. That's my answer. Inches to the third power. I don't feel like writing it. Now let me point something out. If you use the pi button instead of 3.14, your decimal will be off just a tad. So I'm going to show you. If I use the pi button, if I use the pi button, I'm going to do it right now. I'm going to do pi times 2.5 squared times 7. I got 137.44. It's actually it's ongoing. It's for all this other crap. And I would just leave that as 137.44. Both answers are correct. I will know which one you did. Okay? So don't be alarmed. I don't care if you use your pi button or if you just do 3.14. But I'm saying, if you get something goofy like 136, that crap is just wrong. Okay? All right. That's example. So here's my radius, which is 2. My height, how tall it is 11. So you have to do volume. It's going to be pi times, I don't feel like writing 3.14, times radius squared times 11. So I'm going to use my pi button this time. So pi times 2 squared times 11, which is approximately 138.2. Okay? All right. Again, if you have questions, send me a message. You can pause the video right now if you like. Okay. This time, it's a cylinder, and we already know the height. I'm a visual person, so I like to draw my cylinder. That's an ugly cylinder, but who cares? Okay, they want us to find the height of the cylinder. That's what they're asking us for. And they're telling us the radius is 8. So we know that radius is 8. That's our radius. And they're already giving us the volume is 2010. So we know our volume is 2010. Okay? So if our volume formula is pi r squared h, I'm going to plug in everything except for the variable I'm trying to find. So I know volume is 2010. I know pi is 3.14. I know my radius is 8 squared. And we're looking for the height. Okay? In my calculator, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply 3.14 times 8 squared. Do that right now. 3.14 times 8 squared. I got 200.96h equals 2010. Now I'm using my algebra. How do you isolate the variables? You have to divide both sides by whatever's in front of h. That's the 200.96. So I'm going to divide. Whenever I do to one side, I do it to the other. 0.96. And my answer is whatever I get. I get what I get. So let me throw it in the calci. 2010 divided by 200.96. Letter. And I got 10.00 some other crap. I'm just going to leave my answer just like that. The height is approximately 10. Okay. And right here, we're going to find it. Wait, did I give y'all that for the, hold on, let me see something. Did I give y'all that problem? Dang, I sure did. All right, let me go over it. So now we had to find this variable right here. We already know our volume. Okay, remember the formula, volume equal BH. You know what? I'm gonna scratch that. I'm gonna delete these two. I don't want to do it. I don't feel like it. If you could do that one, that's cool in the game. Okay, so let's scratch that. Yeah, yeah. And plus, I don't want this video to be too long. Let's move on. So now we're finding volume of a sphere. So this is section 11.8. Okay, if you brought your book home, it's on page 352. I'm talking about the student journal. So a sphere, anything shaped like a ball is a sphere. You feel me? The earth, the moon, a globe, a basketball, all of those things are shaped like a sphere. In a sphere, because it's round, it has a center, it has a diameter and a radius. Diameter goes all the way through the center from one side to the next. The radius goes from the center to the end, so it's like only halfway through. Okay? The formula for a sphere for the volume is 4/3 pi r to the third power. Now, in your calculator, to raise something to the third power, let's say I want to raise 5 to the third power, you have to type that little caret button and then 3. So try it now if you're using a handheld calculator, 5 to the third power, and you should get 125. Also, the fraction 4/3, please do not make it a decimal, okay? Use the fraction. Just type 4/3 or 4 divided by 3. But do not change it to 1.33. Don't do that, or your decimal is going to be off. Okay, so I like finding the volume of a sphere because it's to the point. So again, if my formula is 4/3, ooh, my writing is terrible. Let me change that. 4/3 pi r to the third power, right? That's the formula for a sphere. We need to know what radius is. Remember, radius is only halfway. So here they gave us diameter, which is 15. That means radius is half of 15. So radius is 7.5. So for this one, I'm going to do 4/3 times pi times 7.5 to the third power times. Throw it all in the calculator. I'm using the pi button. So if you're using 3.14, your decimal is just going to be a little bit off than what I have, but who cares? No problem, Bob. 4 divided by 3 times pi times 7.5 raised to the third. And I got a big old number. 1767.14. Some other crap. I'm just going to put 0.1. That's my answer. I'm going to do it a different way just to make sure I typed it in right. I'm going to use my fraction key. Times pi times 7.5 raised to the third. Yep. Okay. So yes is a big number. Okay. Sometimes our answers are big. Next problem. So here's our radius. So easy breezy. I'm going to do volume equals 4/3 times pi times 13 to the third power. Throw it in the calc. Get what you get. 4/3 times pi times 13 to the third. Another big old number. I got 9202.77. So I'm going to raise it to 0.8. Almost done, peeps. Almost done. Next problem. They gave us the radius. Cool. So I'm going to plug in 4/3 times pi times 3.5 to the third in my calculator. 4/3 times pi times 3.5 exponent button to the third power. I got 179.59. I'm going to raise that to 0.6. I rounded it to 0.6. Last one. Okay. So the diameter is 10. We only want the radius. Radius is half the diameter, so radius is 5. So volume is 4/3 times pi times radius to the third power. Throw it all in the calci. 4/3 times pi times 5 to the third. Split out. I got 523 point. It says 0.59 and some other crap. I'm gonna raise the 59 to a 6 because I always like raising to the nearest tenth. And we are done. Okay. So this is section 11.8. And then there'll be a new video, and that will be volume of pyramids and I forgot. Pyramids and cones. Okay. More formulas, but it should be easy breezy. Message me if you have any questions. Talk to y'all later. Peace out.